What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with the one, the only, Dilly Vanilli. Week number 15, NFL picks and predictions. It's the prime time, Dilly Vanilli. A lot of people are looking at their teams right now. They're either in the playoffs, or they're just on the outside of the playoffs, or they're looking ahead and they're saying, okay, we want a draft pick, but that's not for these fans. We're talking about the fans that are looking towards the playoffs. We're looking at a bye week, Patriot fans, Texans fans. Can we squeeze in there and grab a bye week from the Patriots? Can the Chiefs maintain home field? You know, can the Rams and Saints maintain dominance? Can the Cowboys keep it going? Can the Colts sneak into the playoffs? So we have a lot going on here this week. We also have the second week for most people of fantasy playoffs. Yes. So that's also very exciting. So hopefully we can help you as well on that. If you guys have any questions regarding this week in terms of picks, predictions, games, matchups we like, matchups we don't like, fantasy questions, let us know in the comment section. Also, let us know who you guys are picking this week, as well as any other comments you have for us. We've had a great week thus far on the Bottom Line View. It's been very successful. Thank you guys. And to the new subscribers, welcome. Dilly Vanilli, say hello. And also give us the standings, bro.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about fantasy playoffs. I'm getting excited. I'm in the semifinal matchup on BOV. Probably going to lose this week, but I've got high optimism, trying to, get my team going as we got semifinals going in. Last week, an interesting week. It was a bunch of upsets. It was not a particularly fun week in terms of, is this team going to win? Is this team going to win? By the end of the early afternoon games, there was like 3 or 4 upsets. I'm like, what's going on here? And then we had the Steelers losing to the Raiders, which didn't help anybody either. So last week, Mitch went 10-6, Kev went 9-7, I went 8-8, which means we have a tie at the number 1 position. Finally, Mitch has gotten back up there. We're tied 130, 76-2 with 3 weeks left.
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Back.
I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So we're tied right now for the first spot. Kev, 5 games behind. But we're 136, 76-2 with 3 more weeks to go. So, this is a big week. I think this is gonna decide who wins picks between us two. So I'm interested to see what goes.
This is a huge week with a lot of really tough matchups. And we said before we even got on here, Dilly, there is a lot of matchups this week where I'm like, why is this game even being played?
It's bullshit.
So I feel like we're going to pick up a lot of L's in those areas, but we'll try and nail the ones that are important. And the ones that are important start on Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
We have the LA Chargers. No, wait, I got to do that if I pick
No.
Versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Thursday Night Football in Kansas City. The Chiefs off a tough one against the Ravens in overtime. And, of course, we have a lot of injuries in this game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, I actually did a video on this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was a very successful video.
I think a lot of people noticed. I don't know.
Thank you guys for watching that video. And to the new subscribers, I appreciate you. But yeah, I did a Who's Better video on that. But I said that the Chiefs were technically a better football team. But I still am deciding who I'm picking in this game, Dylan. To be quite honest with you, it's going back and forth in my mind. Of course, we know the history. The Chiefs have dominated this series as of late. Under Andy Reid, I'm pretty sure they have never even dropped a game to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. Of course, the Chargers 10-3 after sort of a weak performance against the Bengals, but they did get the job done with the victory. The Kansas City Chiefs in an intense, one of the best games of the year, in my opinion, against the Ravens. That was a great game. Offensively, defensively, a good balance of both. The weather came into play. Patrick Mahomes making some spectacular throws. Both offenses are great. But back to the injuries, okay? So we have Spencer Ware, who's doubtful for the game, likely not going to play. Melvin Gordon is kind of iffy. He's questionable. He's a game time decision. Not sure about him. Justin Jackson is going to play, but Austin Eckler is likely not going to play. So a lot of injuries at the running back position. Also, Tyreek Hill is going to play, but he's injured. And of course, we know about Kareem Hunt. So there's a lot of stuff. And Sammy Watkins is out. So, like, the Chiefs could be without Sammy Watkins. They could be without Spencer Ware. And they could have a basically hurt and not 100% Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
So, Dylan, I'm going to put this on you. Who are you picking in this game, and how do you balance that fact of, hey, the Chiefs are really good against the Chargers. They're arguably the best team in the league right now, but they have a lot of injuries.
This is a tough one. This is one I've been looking forward to ever since both of these teams have really started off to get a good track on their season. I was like, oh, this is a pretty good Thursday night football matchup, which I'm gonna have to figure out a way to watch because I'm gonna be at work. I gotta convince them to put it on the TV or something, do something there. So I'm interested to see how both teams kind of react to their injuries, more specifically the Chiefs, because there's no, like you said, there's no Sammy Watkins that's going to be there. Tyreek Hill, is he going to be at 100%? No Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware wasn't really that effective last week in terms of the rushing yards. But, let's see what their run game goes, next man up kind of thing. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this game. I think this has to do with a couple of factors. First off, this is one of the things that you mentioned in the Steelers-Chargers matchup, and I think this is going to play into my kind of assumption. You wanted to see the Chargers pick up that big prime time victory against the Steelers, and until they did so, you were going to pick the other team. Well, I haven't seen the Chiefs have won 9 in a row against the Chargers, so until the Chargers beat the Chiefs, I don't think I can pick the Chargers in this matchup. I think the Chiefs just have them bested with Andy Reid at the helm. I think that Patrick Mahomes, you saw the quarterback play last week. He was in a whole lot of pressure. That Ravens defense put up a number. They almost made me look like a complete jackass by saying that the Chiefs were guaranteed to win that football game. They almost lost. So I almost looked pretty bad on that. But Patrick Mahomes made the throws. That 4th and 9 throw to Tyreek Hill was incredible. One of the best throws all year. The literal throw, like he didn't even look at his receiver kind of throw. Literally in an NFL game. Ridiculous. I think he's just going to make 1 or 2 more plays than Phillip Rivers. It's going to be a great quarterback battle, but I think that Patrick Mahomes is just going to take one more step, one more drive. I think whoever has the ball last is going to win the football game. I think the Chiefs are just going to have that drive at the end, get it done, and they're going to win a close one. I'm going to say the final is going to be 31-28. I think it's going to be a rather highest scoring matchup here on Thursday Night Football. So I'm going Chiefs.
I am also going with the Chiefs. I'm wearing my red here. I'm reading the support of the Andy Reid sweater game. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Now, my main concern with my pick is that I think the biggest weakness of the Chargers defense is that you can run the ball on this defense, especially right up the middle. And they're a pretty finesse defense. Like they're based off speed, they're based off coverage. They have a lot of cover guys. They're good in the passing game for the most part, but when you can establish that running game, you can open it up in the passing game. I don't know if the Chiefs can do that. So that's my main concern because they don't have any running backs. I mean, they have Damian Williams, but
he did have 2 touchdowns last week. Maybe
I don't know, but Patrick Mahomes is so special right now, and I think there's a big thing coming in this game. If Eric Berry plays,
he's slated to start.
Even if he doesn't play well, this team is going to be pumped. It's their leader on defense. They're going to be feeling themselves. And I think that it's just too tough to pick against the MVP Mahomes at home against a team that they've dominated in a loud stadium. And as much as I want to pick the Chargers, I can't pick them because they do not have Melvin Gordon. If they had Melvin Gordon, I might consider picking them because I think if they have Melvin Gordon, they can establish the run and they can keep Mahomes on the sideline. But without Austin Eckler and potentially Melvin Gordon, I don't know if I can pick the Chargers. So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the home stadium of the Chiefs. Okay. The next game, Texans at Jets, Saturday, football. We have another
I love
Saturday
some Saturday football, baby. Let's
After
go.
that is Cleveland Browns and Denver Broncos. But the first one, Dilly Vanilli, is Texans and Jets. And I think it's a pretty clear here who you're going to pick. I do want to say, though, before you do go, Jets impressed me last week. They did beat the Bills. I did not see that coming. Dylan.
That's true. I didn't see that coming. And I didn't expect the way that the Texans lost against the Colts either. Just the way they played that game, it was like, wow, what's going on here? You had the lead, you had the momentum, and then kind of just lost it in the second half. I'm going to go with the Texans, though. Again, the Jets have no real reason to play this game very hard. They're still looking at a top 5-ish draft pick. And the Texans are looking to try to get that number 2 seed because with the Patriots loss, it's kind of wide. I don't want to say wide open, but it's open. It's open for the taking. So Texans need this victory, and I think they'll get it done.
Okay. For me, I am going also with the Texans, but for some strange reason, I don't know why, like my head is telling me this game might be close.
It could be. New York's at home.
I don't know why. Like I just have this feeling it's going to kind of go down to the wire. I don't necessarily think it should, but I just have a feeling. So I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the game is going to be weirdly close. No logic involved here, but I just think it's going to happen.
Just an epiphany, you think?
I just don't know why. It's just in my head. I can't get it out of my head. So I'm going to go with the Texans, but you never know. It's Saturday football. Weird things can happen on Saturday football. So I'm going to go with the Texans, but I'm going to say like 24-20 for the Texans. It's going to be closer than you guys expect and should provide a little bit more entertainment, on Saturday. And then the other Saturday matchup is Cleveland-Denver. After this one, we'll go to the chat real quick. Okay. So Cleveland-Denver. Denver pretty much got destroyed by George Kittle and the Kyle Shanahan offense last week. And it seemed like the Broncos were torn apart and pretty much lost all hope of going to the playoffs. They are at home in this game for the 624th time this season. They play the Browns, and the Browns have been impressive as of late. They played the Panthers last week. They squeaked that one out. Mayfield was throwing dots out there, absolute bullets. And Nick Chubb looks good, of course. Jarvis Landry played well. The defense can make a couple plays here and there, and that's why I'm going with the Browns. I just think they have the better quarterback play right now. I think they're confident, something that's very rare for the Browns. And I just think they have more playmakers. The Broncos, without Emmanuel Sanders, really lack a playmaker on the offensive side of the ball outside of Phillip Lindsay, specifically in the passing game. So I'm going to go with the Browns just because I think they can put up some more points on the Broncos. And I also think without Chris Harris, the Broncos have been a little bit weak. The Broncos are favored in this game. So, Dylan, who are you going with here?
That's interesting to me. I'm going with the Brownies as well. It is, I'm not going to put it on, but it is celebration time. It is Christmas spirit Browns season. I like what I've been seeing from the Browns. They've got some kind of confidence. I think Colin Cowherd should apologize for his comments on Baker Mayfield. The whole season, by the way, continues to make that thing a case. But I think the Browns are just, realizing that they've got a much better team, a much better coached team than they had earlier on this season. And you can tell their gameplay is faster. They're making better plays. They're making great decisions. And Baker's feeling dangerous every single week. When that kid's dangerous, you don't want to go wake up and play against him.
Dylan, he's feeling dangerous when he hits a deep ball to Brashad Perryman.
Brashad Perryman, guys. He's not good. And by the way, this is Saturday night. You know what Baker was doing last year? Playing Saturday college football. He knows what Saturday is all about. Again, I know a lot of these players have played college, not shit, but he's like the most recent of them. So he's still in that college mode a little bit.
So is Chubb.
Bradley Chubb. That's going to be an interesting little storyline there.
Chubb versus Mayfield versus Chubb.
2 top 5 picks right there, and then Chubb right,
Chubb versus Chubb.
Chubb versus Chubb.
Who can out-Chubb the Chubb?
I hope they don't bring that on commentary.
Who's chubbier?
Well, I guess the defensive lineman. But that's going to be an interesting game. I think it'll be just interesting because how do the Broncos bounce back? I mean, still technically some way in shape and form they're still alive for the 6th seed. They're not going to win it, but I mean there's still a glimmering hope, and the Brownies can still make the playoffs somehow, some way. They can still make the playoffs. They can win their own division almost. So a win here is a start. So,
Is this your Giants thing that I had? They can still make the playoffs. They can still make it. By the way, the Packers can still make the playoffs.
I don't want to see them in the playoffs.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But let's get to the comments first.
All right, chat, baby. Not too much in here. I mean, there's some good comments here. Let's see. Party's going with he's got all his picks in there. He's picking the Jets in that Texans game, though. That's one note in there. A big upset, if you will. Ghost Skittle is saying the big Andy Reid red outfit as well. He's picking that up. Second City CM Punk, he's asking Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield in his fantasy football matchup, which I'm assuming he's in the playoffs at this point.
I'm going Josh Allen.
Joshy Allen. The thing is, he gets a lot of rushing yards.
He keeps running for 100 yards.
This man already has a third of Tom Brady's career rushing yards in 3 games.
By the way, he has the most rushing yards in 3-game stretch of anyone in history.
For a quarterback.
For a quarterback, yeah.
Let's just that. Yes. He beat Michael Vick by like 40 yards.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Michael Vick, the legend. So I'm going Josh Allen I like Baker Mayfield more, but only because this man's going to run for 100 yards almost guaranteed. Like, it's ridiculous. Rob says Dolphins-Vikings is a toss-up game. We'll get to that one. That one's going to be very interesting.
That's a big game.
Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong, one of our subscribers from the season, starting Rivers or Jared Goff in this. I'm going to pick Mr. Rivers for one reason. I know the Eagles are not the Bears in any way, shape, and form, but I do not want to stay anywhere. I want to stay as far away from Goff right now in a fantasy situation because he put up literally negative 0.4 points last week. Rivers is going against a Chiefs defense. I think he can put some points on.
I do think that Jared Goff will bounce back, but there's one reason and one reason only. I'm going with Phillip Rivers. Jared Goff plays in Philadelphia, and it's likely to be cold.
Ooh.
And Jared Goff is not good in the cold.
Mm.
So I'm going to go with Rivers.
And the Chargers are out with maybe their 2 best running backs, too, so he's going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, but I would say that Goff should rip up the Eagles secondary. I mean, they're pretty bad, but we'll see.
Their top 4 cornerbacks are out for the year, it seems like. Oh, that's so sad. Let's see. We're going to scroll down here. Who should I start in my 1-2 and flex for receivers? He's got Julio, Odell, Cooper, and Michael Thomas. That's ridiculous.
What? Congratulations on winning the league.
You can just start like 2 of them and still win.
So wait, Michael Thomas, Julio, Odell, and Amari. He needs 3?
3. Amari put up 49.7 points last week in PPR.
Well, if Odell doesn't play, that's easy.
It's very easy.
But if he does play, you start him.
I would say Julio, Odell, Cooper. I don't think you start Michael Thomas.
Who does Michael Thomas play again?
Panthers.
Oh, I'm playing Michael Thomas.
You playing Michael Thomas? His stats the last couple of games haven't been as good as the rest of the 3.
Bro, I'm playing Michael Thomas over Julio.
Really?
Because Julio has to play Patrick Peterson.
That's true, and that's been like their one grace on defense for the Cardinals.
I don't know, though. That's tough. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong.
But for sure, if Odell's not playing, it's the easiest thing ever. But
I would also say I know that Cooper's been amazing, but it's also Odell, Julio, and Michael Thomas.
That's why I'm saying it looks like the odd man out, but he also put up 50 points in fantasy. Like, what am I just going to bench the man that did that last week?
I don't know. That's tough.
I
would feel the best about benching Cooper just because if he went off, I would be like, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to bench Julio. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But I would still say the answer is you win. That's
yeah.
I don't think you're going to
unless your running backs are LeGarrette Blount and LeGarrette Blount, you're probably going to win.
Hey, LeGarrette Blount, he's going to get it done, bro. I'm telling you what, big game this week.
Probably, after I said that.
Mr. Wong says he picked up Vance McDonald with your recommendation for tight end. And he's also got the Patriots defense for next week. That'll be interesting. Rob's got a 24-10 win for the Chiefs. That's an interesting score. That's definitely an interesting score.
I hope the Chargers score more than 10.
I do too. I want a good game. Let's see here. Tyreek Hill at 50% is still probably pretty good. Yeah, I would think he's, it's Tyreek Hill. He's still got the speed.
He's still going to put the stress on the defense.
Mm-hmm. Hansman's clowning us for our Chiefs and Seahawks predictions in the preseason. Well, brother, the Seahawks started like 1-4, I think. Nobody predicted them to be better than that. And the Chiefs, first of all, I think we both had them like just under 500. So it's not like we had them.
Bro, what about all the other picks we've made? Like, I know you're going to clown us for 2 picks, but then you look at the rest of the picks. I have everybody else in the AFC in the playoffs. So stop.
I think I have everybody except the Ravens in the AFC. And I have everybody in the NFC except for the Seahawks. So.
And in the NFC, I didn't have the Cowboys.
I did.
And I didn't have the Seahawks. But I had everybody else.
Actually, I didn't have the Bears either because I didn't think they were.
So honestly, 3 wrong out of that. That's pretty good
for preseason predictions. And then I want the Lions fan to come. I just want
we're the Lions fan.
I'm going to make this video. That's so bad. That whole comment section is just absolute deadly. Okay, scrolling down a little bit here, see if we got any more comments for. Ultra saying the Texans dominant victory in their matchup here. Brownies. Of course, we got to celebrate for the Browns, no doubt. Lull for the Dolphins. We'll talk about the Dolphins here in just a minute. We will definitely talk about them. Ghost Hiddle says he can't trust Denver and their matchup against the Browns. Just going down here a little bit more. Tennessee over the Giants is Deshaun. And I think that's it. I think we'll get back to our picks.
All right, so the next game is going to Ultra's Atlanta Falcons.
Oh.
All right.
Oh no, I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah, so Atlanta is -8.5. Has anybody watched Atlanta recently?
Did they watch the game 3 days ago?
Dylan, Ultra keeps telling me that I should have voted Matt Ryan into the Pro Bowl. Can I please read off how many points they've scored on the road this year?
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's start off in week number 1.
Okay.
All right. 12.
Okay. That was the Eagles game. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
All right. Pittsburgh, 17. Okay.
That's bad considering they're
Washington. They did score 38 in Washington. I'll give them that.
Ooh.
They followed that up with a 16-burger in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Then they played the Saints, 17. Okay. All right. They played Green Bay, 20. All right. So you've scored over 20 points on the road once this year. Matt Ryan is terrible on the road. I'm not voting him the Pro Bowl. He's too inconsistent. Yes, he had a good stretch for a little while there. But he's just piling up the garbage time yards. I'm not going with it, bro. I'm not cool with the Falcons this year. So, but I'm still picking them in this game. Because the Cardinals are horrendous. If there's anybody worse than Atlanta, it's the Cardinals.
Yep. I would
They can't score, Dylan.
How many points do they have against the Lions?
Atlanta could score 10 and they'll probably win.
Did they score 3 points against the Lions last week?
I think, maybe. Rosen threw more points to the Lions than he did to his team.
I want to be ballsy. I want to go with the Cardinals, but they just don't have it. If the Cardinals win against the Falcons, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm not mad about it. But I'm not going to take an L in picks that's not worth it. I'd rather pick a different game for that. So I'm going to pick the Falcons. Not worth it.
So who are you picking?
Falcons.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's in there.
All right. Okay. Next game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Baltimore.
Alive, according to you.
Sorry?
I said who are still technically alive for you.
Well, if they would have won last week, bro, they were up 14-3, Dylan. 14-3 against the best team in football.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, they poop their panties, and the Saints come back and destroy them. How does that even happen?
It's the Bucs. It's the Bucs luck,
It's
bro.
the Bucs. The Ravens, on the other hand, they come back home after going on the road. It was overtime against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
They were putting pressure on Mahomes. Defense played solid. Lamar Jackson had a few nice drives. He did make a crucial mistake at the end, getting that strip sack, although he didn't get much time there. I mean, the guy got destroyed. Whoever the guard tackle was got destroyed by Justin Houston. Just want to put that out.
Didn't you tweet out that there was too much time for Lamar?
I was joking mostly, but I was hoping that would come true. Yeah. So, I'm picking the Ravens because I think this is one of the games where the Bucs have been competitive at times this year, but I don't think they'll be competitive in this game because I see this as a game of turnover city from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Ravens defense will be all over them. I think there's going to be interceptions, fumbles. If you have the Ravens defense, start them. I think the Ravens are going to be all over it. And Lamar Jackson, name the starter. They're going to run the football on the Bucs. I like Lamar, what he did a little bit against the Chiefs. I think that, a lot of people want to say Joe Flacco would be better for this team. I say that because what they're doing creatively on offense is more interesting to me. It's better to watch, and I also think it's better for them as a football team because it complements their defense. If Lamar Jackson playing as your quarterback allows you to run the ball more effectively because of his attention that he brings to the defense, of his speed around the edge. If you're running the ball up the gut, not butt, with Gus Edwards or with Kenneth Dixon, it works better for you if you have Lamar Jackson, a guy with speed who can take it off the edge, instead of old, slow Joe Flacco. So I like what they're doing with Lamar. I think they should stick with him into the playoff run if they make it there. And I think this is a big game for them. They have more to play for, and that's why they're going to win.
You know why they're going to win this week? I mean, all the things that you said were pretty true, and it's going to be the reasons on the field why they're going to win. The reason I think this is a big for them is that this is going to be a huge boost for Lamar. He got picked as the starting quarterback even after Joe Flacco, who's won the Ravens a Super Bowl, came back. Some people probably in the office were like, I want to start Joe Flacco. He's been this franchise for a decade. But he got the pick. He's going to have a huge confidence boost. He wants to award them with a huge victory to get them in the playoffs. I'm going to say this right now. The Ravens are winning the AFC North. I cannot see the Steelers, which we will talk about probably extensively in a few minutes. I cannot see them being the winner of the AFC North right now. I cannot see it. I think the Ravens are going to get a big victory here against the Bucs. Wow.
Dilly already giving his prediction for the Patriots-Steelers game.
Or am I? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, probably.
Okay. Next matchup, one of the games that we absolutely love this week. Lions at Buffalo Bills.
Oh, God, I'm getting sick. Oh, no.
I think this game is going to be 17-13. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going with the Bills because they're at home, and I have a rule.
The two bad teams. Wait, hold on. Is it the two bad teams?
Pick the home team. Going with the Bills. Bills are crappy, but the Lions are also crappy. I think the Bills defense has a big performance here. And I do want to see, because the Lions, they've been talking about how Matt Patricia's made them tougher. They're going out there. They're practicing in the snow. I want to see if that comes true because it's going to be cold in Buffalo. They're going to need to be ready for those, that temperature, that environment. We'll see if they're ready. We'll see if they live up to it. Maybe the Lions win. I thought it was impressive that they played defense that way, even against the Cardinals. And they played well against the Rams too. We said that last week. But I think that the Bills will win this game because Josh Allen's going to keep running and running and running. And I don't think Matt Patricia has fared well against running quarterbacks throughout his history as a Patriots D coordinator or with the Lions. So I'm going to go with the Bills.
I just realized that if it's a snowing game and you can't throw and Josh Allen is your quarterback, he's going to break the NFL record for minutes in a game. That being said, I'm going to pick the Lions. And the reason I'm picking the Lions is this. I don't think the Bills will allow Josh Allen to win a football game. I seriously don't think they will. Like, he's like, yeah, I got the confidence. We're doing good. We're driving down the field. No, you're going to lose to the Jets in the last second. Like, okay, we're going against the Dolphins. We got this really great drive. Charles Clay, you're wide open in the end zone. Catch the football. No, you drop it. I don't think they can allow him to win a football game so they can get a top 5 draft pick. And they just don't want to tell him. They just want to have confidence in him. He can play as great as he wants to, but they will physically not let him win football games. And I think the Lions just need a confidence boost. I know they beat the Cardinals, but I'm going to go the Lions here. I just don't think they're going to allow Josh Allen to win a football game. As much as he tries, as much as he can do. They're not going to let him do it. So, Lions.
As much as the Bears have tried, they have been unable to beat the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I think this is finally the time, Dilly Vanilli. They need to do it. They need to check it off their checklist.
They got to do it now.
They have to. And they're going to.
They are.
They're in Chicago. We just saw the Rams offense there. I don't want to see the Packers offense there.
Ugh.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be running for his life. Khalil Mack's going to be sacking, attacking. And the offense, I think, is going to get back on pace with the Bears. Trubisky obviously had a rough game against the Rams last week. We'll see how the elements come into play in this game. They were obviously a big factor in LA. I want to see the Bears a little bit more on the road. They're at home against a decent opponent here, a divisional opponent, but this will be a test because the Packers always play them well. The Packers typically beat them. So I'm going to go with the Bears. I think this is just a monkey off their back game, and this is just going to give them a little bit more confidence going into the playoffs.
Yeah, totally agreed. Bears are going to win this game. Khalil Mack did all the crazy stuff he did in week 1. That was with 6 days preparation. This is with 15 weeks of preparation. So Aaron Rodgers is going to be absolutely destroyed on that football field. And not only just Khalil Mack, their defensive line is pretty impressive. And then if he finally gets time to throw a football, he's going to realize that Eddie Jackson's over there, Prince Amukamura's over there. Somebody's going to be covering their best playmakers. And Randall Cobb had like one of his best games all year. That's not saying much, but he had one of his best games. And he did have probably his best game all year in week 1 against the Bears. But I don't think that's going to happen this time around. I think the Bears have got a pretty solid victory. Like you said, get that monkey off their back, get ready for the playoffs, and get a nice divisional victory. However, as a Cowboys fan, only 1 game behind in the standings for the 3rd seed. I'd like to get this as an L, but I'm not going to say anything. I think the Bears will win pretty convincingly.
So you're saying you would rather play whoever the 6th seed is than the Seahawks?
I would rather play the Vikings than the Seahawks, as I've stated before. I mean, I'm cool with them with playing against them, but I mean, I'd rather play the Vikings because they're shit.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go first on this one because this is a dandy.
Okay.
The Oakland Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh God. First of all,
who is going to try and lose this game?
I think I don't know where the ibuprofen is. I'm getting a headache from this game. Both teams want to lose. It is going to be Driscoll versus a team that doesn't care. I don't know. I don't know who to pick. I don't know who to pick. Everybody's gone from the Bengals. It's like just their new recruitments. They got practice squad. You know, they got everybody. They had an open field invitation. You guys want to play on the Bengals? Come on, join. The Raiders. I'm going to pick the Raiders, and only for this one reason. They beat the Steelers. Where's the Bengals quality with no people? Like, at least the Raiders have a quality victory. I know they care, and they're seemingly going to try that number 1 pick. But they're just the better team. They have more healthy players. So I'm going to go Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders too. And it's not just because they beat the Steelers, but it's also because they've been just playing better lately. Like, they've actually not been that bad lately.
They tried.
They almost, I mean, they were close to the Chiefs. It was 40-33. The game was competitive. They beat the Cardinals a few weeks ago. They did lose to the Ravens, but they've been competitive over the last 4 weeks. And that's more I can say than the Bengals. I know the Bengals did have a decent game and were close to the Chargers, but I can't pick them, man. I'm going with the Raiders.
The Raiders. Ugh, I don't like either of them.
All right, let's
Not
take
these.
a break and go to the chat. And right after we go to the chat, we're going to go to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Those comments, though. I got to scroll to where we were last time. Not forget any of those comments for everybody. Wait, who? Oh, Robot Guy says Jets are ass burgers. I have not. Well, I have not heard it in that term. It was ass space burgers. I don't know if that's an interesting way to look at it. I went a little too far here. Yeah, because I see one of these comments. Party Parth, he's talking about all those preseason predictions of his Colts. Yeah. Trevor says the Giants are going to win by 20 against the Titans.
Damn!
That's quite a prediction. That's tough.
Is he a Giants guy?
No, he says the Titans play bad against bad teams. Therefore, he has to pick the other. It's interesting. Durkan says Mitch's Pro Bowl video ruined my morning. Because I have no idea.
It's because I didn't pick any Dolphins.
Well, why would you?
I mean, is there anyone on the Dolphins you would pick?
Kenyon Drake because of the Miami Miracle. I don't know. That's
the closest guy was Xavier Howard, but I didn't pick him.
He's a good player. Solid. But I feel bad. We rag on him all the time, but
I'm just being honest. I mean, that's why you watch us. We're honest.
We're honest.
I'm not going to lie just because we have a Dolphins fan. I picked way too many Cowboys. On second thought, I should redo that video. I picked way too many Cowboys.
No. Keep going. I like it. I liked it. I loved it. But, a lot of people were coming at you head top for the Chiefs-Chargers video. Holy shit. They come out of the woodworks for those Who's Better videos. They really do. It doesn't matter which fan base is it. If they see their team in it, boom.
Oh, well, if their team, there's more Chiefs fans than Chargers fans. If they like the Chiefs, they like. If they like the Chargers, they dislike. That's how it works.
It's kind of just like how they're glued to their headset or they're glued to the screen, right? And everything you say negative. No. Hold on. Let me get you real quick. I'm like,
but you guys are cracking me up about the Kelvin Benjamin stuff. I didn't mention him because he's ass. I'm not going to mention Kelvin Benjamin. He might as well play defensive tackle.
Doesn't he play second tight end? That's what I thought he was going to be assigned as.
They're like, what about Kelvin Benjamin? You didn't bring him up. I'm like, have you seen him play?
Nothing. He is the Eddie Lacy of our generation. Well, I guess it's not our generation. He was in the league 2 years ago. But he's the Kelvin Benjamin or Eddie Lacy this season. Chill out. He's not going to do anything. If he has catch, I'll be surprised. I want everybody to say that, just go pick him up in fantasy and start him, and then tell me about that. Yeah, I'm ready to start him in fantasy. Let's go. Rashawn's got a Minnesota loss to the Dolphins, 27-20. We'll get to that game. We'll do that game. Go Skittles making those, Lions comments. He's making a meme. Lions still win in the North, kind of stuff. It's funny. It's fun. I like it. Durkant's got a Falcons win 22-17. Durkant with the biggest lie of the year, saying the Finns are Super Bowl contenders when they are not even going to make the playoffs. That is Jim Mora-esque right there. But Super Bowl? I wish we can get even in the playoffs. That'd be
I don't even know how to respond.
I think he's just no, I can't say he's joking because it's Durkant. Rob with a 21-17 victory for the Ravens. Deshaun with a 23-14 victory for the Ravens. Rob says Flacco is D-U-N-E in Baltimore. If anybody can find that first iteration of when I said that, I will.
Yeah, when did you first say that?
I have no idea. But it has been quite the slogan this year. So if anybody can find that, much appreciated.
I feel like that deserves to be on a T-shirt.
Yes. Your team is D-U-N-E. Oh. We're in a blank.
D-U-N-E.
Just D-U-N-E.
And everybody's like, back because Dilly says so.
because Dilly said so. And then you just give him a big old double bird.
Yeah.
Ultra's got his AFC predictions for the playoffs.
Already? Okay.
Yeah, 1 Chiefs. Well, no, in terms of like teething, I should say.
Oh.
1 Chiefs, 2 Patriots, 3 Texans, 4 Ravens, 5 Chargers, 6 Colts. So those are his teams, which I agree pretty much. I would say I would agree with them.
If the Colts lose this week, they won't make it.
Yeah, that's true, though. That is true. Bills Mafia win by 8. Oh, they're Bills Mafia. They got to jump off the tables over there. They're going crazy.
Flaming table.
I feel like they're still stuck in 1991. They're in party mode, and they think they have the Super Bowls every week. So the Sunday game's like, yeah, we're gonna.
No, I think they do that so they can't remember. They have a concussion before the game, so they don't remember the game they're gonna watch.
That is fair. That's fair. But they gotta have one guy, so he's the guy with the Josh Allen jersey because it's the only thing they can ever watch from them. That's like the only thing they care about. So
yeah,
that's fair. Deshaun says the Colts are going to lose 26-20 in their game against the Cowboys. We will talk about both teams in just a minute, as we brought up. Ultra says it's going to be a Bears victory, but a sneaky one, 30-28. Okay. Fact or fiction, Andy Dalton is traded this offseason.
He should be.
If they draft a quarterback, absolutely. If they don't, nope. Because there's not a free agent they're going to go get.
And also, Durkant was saying that Ryan Tannehill, I think it was last week, is the most underrated quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is Andy Dalton.
I'm an A&M fan, which would mean that I like A&M players more, and I still don't like Tannehill more than like anybody else.
Tannehill is Andy Dalton.
Oh. Pretty good comparison.
They might be the same person. Not saying they play the same.
They're cloned together.
Their results are the same.
About as many playoff appearances. Well, no, Tannehill gets hurt before. Either way. Luca's in the chat from Waterboy Report. What's up, Luca? Let's see here. Ultra's got those power rankings, of course. The Saints, Chiefs, Rams, Chargers, Patriots, Bears, Seahawks, Cowboys, Colts, Texans, in that order.
I'm surprised he has Colts over Texans.
Well, the Colts did win, but I also think they're like too far behind to be ahead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's kind of tough to me. And plus, the Colts still might not even make the playoffs, so. Tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough.
Well, let's talk about the Colts.
Oh, we got one more. All right, just want to do one more. Luca has got an upset of the week. He's saying the Eagles are going to beat the Rams. That's bold. Bold. I don't think Mitch is going to be a big fan of that one, but all right. Let's go into our next pick.
Okay. Let's go to the Colts hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Dilly Vanilli. I know who you're picking. You're picking the Colts.
Yes.
So go ahead and explain.
This is a huge game for both teams. Colts still trying to make the playoffs. Cowboys, with the victory, clinched the NFC East. That's big time right there. We need to get this victory going. Both teams had some pretty interesting games last week. Colts started off very rough. They did not play a very good game against the Texans starting off. It was not a very good battle. But then they struck a chord. Andrew Luck struck a chord. He went on Twitter at halftime. He's given his inspirational talk on Twitter. He got the team riled up. They got a big victory, and now they're at home against the Cowboys, who, in a divisional matchup of their own, had a pretty crazy 68 minutes of football, one that almost gave me about 8 different heart attacks, and was super stressful the entire way because the offense decided not to show up for 3 quarters. Brent Maher decides to kick 62-yarders, but not 40-yarders, because that's what we hired you to do as a field goal kicker. And, this is a very interesting battle between both teams that I think are really going to be looked at. This game needs to be looked at this week for sure. The Cowboys offense, again, like I said, for 3 quarters didn't show up. But in the fourth quarter, when it mattered the most, they got the job done. And I know people are going to harp on Dak, and I understand that. He did not play very well for those first 3 quarters. But it's all about how you finish. You cannot focus on the mistakes that you make beforehand. It's all about making the big plays. The Amari Cooper 75-yard touchdown throw. Got rid of the Michael Gallup bad throw that he had earlier on in the game. It's all about how you finish. And he got the job done. Zeke, this man's still going to eat. Amari Cooper, 10 catches, 217 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Those last 2 a career high for both of them. Thank you, Oakland, for that trade. And the defense still stepping up to make the big plays when necessary. Again, I'm going to pick the Colts because the Cowboys are now 4-0 when I pick against them, which is hurting me in picks just a little bit. But I got to stay.
But Dylan, I have a question for you. What if the Cowboys keep winning and we get to the playoffs and you're doing your playoff prediction video and you want to pick the Cowboys to do well, but you have to pick against them? How is that going to work?
Sacrificial. It's got to be a sacrifice, man.
So you're just going to pick against them on purpose?
I'm just saying they're going to be done in the first game, and then we're just going to go in previews every week. And
okay.
This is it. Okay, because remember when I did this in 2016, and then I picked the Cowboys to go all the way, and then they lost the first game? This is reverse psychology. This is what has to happen in order for success to keep going. So the thing is, for the Colts, they're playing at home, which does give them an advantage. That's definitely going to help them in this game. And I'm interested to see what Andrew Luck can do against the Cowboys defense. Is it going to be a very easy game for him? I don't think so. I think Tyron Crawford needs to get a whole lot more respect than people do because they don't talk about him a lot because DeMarcus Lawrence is on the same line. But I think the Colts are going to make this a fun game. I'm picking the Colts just for my thing. But I'm interested. I'm very interested. This is my biggest game, like last big game for the Cowboys for me for the season because if we can win, we clinch the NFC East.
I'm picking the Colts because I just want to see them win the game, and I want to see them make the playoffs.
Bullshit.
I want to see them win I want to see them make the playoffs. And I'm an Andrew Luck guy, and you talked about Dak making throws when it counts. Well, Andrew Luck makes throws all the time. He doesn't need no fourth quarter. He can do it in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, the 10th quarter, the 14th quarter. It doesn't matter what quarter it is. Andrew Luck's going to make the throw. And I actually think I saw, the Cowboys defense is great. But I did see some things that the Eagles were able to take advantage of that I think the Colts can as well in this game. And I think the Cowboys have been really good at home this year, which is kind of weird. On the road, I don't know if that will be the same thing. And I do want to say that the Colts defense against the run is pretty good. They rank 8th overall. So I think they can remain sturdy against Zeke. I think this game will be very close, but I just think the Colts are going to want it a little bit more. I understand the Cowboys need to clinch the NFC East, but the Colts need it to make the playoffs. The Colts lose, they're out of the playoffs. The Colts lose, they're out of the playoffs. Andrew Luck's going to ball. T.Y. Hilton's going to get one big play, and Eric Ebron is going to be the star of the game. Eric Ebron is going to be the star of the game.
Really?
Yep. I am going with the Colts 26-23 over the Dallas Cowboys.
I won't give a score prediction because I'm picking the Colts and I don't really feel that way. But I will say Dallas Goedert had like the best season or best game against us all year, tight end. So yeah, that could be a weakness that they could exploit. But I'm very interested in this game. So
I am interested in this game as well. Okay.
You're gonna add more. It's like I'm interested in this game.
Redskins at Jags. I do not care at all about this game. I care about the last game. I do not care about this game one bit.
No, not at all.
Can I not pick this game?
Can I pick Josh Johnson?
Are you picking the Redskins?
Can I just pick? I'm picking the Jags.
I'm picking the Jags too. I don't know why. They don't deserve to be picked. The only quarterback that's worse than Blake Bortles is their backup.
Cody Kessler.
I said it before the season. I'll say it again. The Jags are so dumb, and to make themselves feel good, they sign the only quarterback that probably wouldn't even make the CFL, Cody Kessler, to play quarterback for them.
Bro, but we got the first draft pick of the AAF, Josh Johnson, on the field today, on Sunday.
Josh Johnson is better. He hasn't played in 9 years. He's better than Cody Kessler.
I don't think 9 years. I think like 5.
But the Jags will win because I said so.
Because they have a overall not injured. Jordan Reed is out for the year. They got like 8 million injuries.
Jags are playing at home. They play a lot better there.
You know, like in baseball, you have a DL. I think everybody's on the disabled list for the NFL or for the Redskins. I think everybody, literally,
for the last like 3 years.
It's ridiculous.
I think they'll win 13-6. And their only touchdown will come off a pick 6.
God, that's so damn sad. Is Mark Sanchez playing?
No. Josh Johnson. Okay. Now it's time for the Finns and the Vikes. Time for the Finns. It's time for the Vikings. This is a big game. Huge. Dolphins somehow, Kevole always says it, how do they have all these wins? Well, they're in position to potentially go to the playoffs, while the Vikings need this win to go to the playoffs. So, Dylan, how do you see this game going, and who do you think is going to win?
This is a prime example of the Jeopardy question today, which is, does any team want to win the 6th seed in the NFC? The Vikings are contestants in this game. The Eagles, the Panthers. The answer is nobody wants to win. Literally, nobody wants to win the 6th seed because they're awful. Every team trying to vie for the 6th seed, including the Vikings, who just fired John DeFilippo. Because their offense has been so bland and been targeted by every single defense in the world in the last 4 weeks. Well, I guess except for the Packers because they're not very good. But anyways, I'm just going to say it. I like this guy. I think he's talented. He's still very good. But Kirk Cousins is just not giving me the stuff that I want, especially if you're going to pay him $84 million. He is either the Vikings are 0-5-1 against winning teams, with a winning record this year. His road record is atrocious. He's 0-7 on Monday Night Football. His prime time's not been very good. But that being said, I still have more confidence in the Vikings than the Dolphins. I'm going Vikings. I think the Vikings realized that this was they put themselves in a pretty bad spot. They have not looked very good. But with the firing of DeFilippo, apparently the players do not like him. They feel more comfortable with Zimmer's image. They're going to get this fixed. Technically not in prime time. It's just like an afternoon game. So I trust Kirk in a little bit more of a situation there. And yes, I know Miami won and beat the Patriots, but it's the Jeff Fisher style of football. They'll always scout for the Patriots because they know that's their number one rival, and they'll always put their number one effort into it. They're not going to do that this week, even if it's for a playoff spot. So I'm going to go with the Vikings, but it's going to be an interesting low-key matchup here.
This is my lock of the week. The Vikings will beat the Dolphins, and the game will be a blowout.
Wow. A lock.
The Vikings will win by 10+.
That's insane.
John DeFilippo out of here. See you later. The offense, Thielen's going to be better. Diggs is going to be better. Cousins is going to be way better. Dalvin Cook is going to get the football. 31st on attempts are the Vikings. You're going to see them run the ball, commit to the run in this game. It's going to work. The Dolphins have won 1 game on the road this year against the New York Jets, and that was their first road game of the year. Since then, they have not won a game on the road. The Vikings are good at home. Even against really good teams, they've played well at home. And their offensive line, I've said it, doesn't travel well. When they play on the road, they're trash. But when they're at home, it helps. And their defense has played well. I think they're going to be motivated from getting rid of DeFilippo to prove that that was mostly his fault and not the players. So I think the Vikings are going to win and win big.
I want to see their quarterback's coach, put some spark into this team this week. He's the offensive play caller here. So I can't trust the Dolphins. That's my reason for it. And, of course, Durkant's going to make all the examinations about how I'm making excuses for the Dolphins team. But it's the facts.
Okay. Titans at G-Men.
G-Men's still technically in a playoff race.
Bro, Dylan, I have no idea who I'm picking in this game.
I feel like this is a very big conundrum from you.
Who are you picking?
It's a little bit of a tough one for me. But
I do have a rule, though.
Okay.
I must stand by my rule. I cannot pick Eli this season.
Yeah.
I have to go with the Titans. I have no choice. It says in my rule book, I cannot pick the Giants. As much as I want to see Saquon do his thing, Odell come back, I can't pick Eli. And the funny thing is, Eli's going to be back next year.
It's great for me as a Cowboy, as a Cowboys fan, but it doesn't make any sense. Question: don't you have the same rule about the Eagles, right? You have the same thing?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you implemented that.
I don't think so.
I think you said it before.
I have a rule that I will not bet on the Eagles.
Okay, because I was saying if you had that same rule with the Eagles, how are you going to pick the Eagles Giants week 17? That would be an M.
I would pick the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Because I want them to win.
I'm picking the Titans for two reasons. One,
the Giants and Eagles they played twice.
Did they?
Yeah. I picked that game. I think I picked the Eagles.
I know the Thursday night football matchup where you picked the Giants. I know that was.
And then I picked the Eagles because I felt like an idiot for picking the Giants the first time.
I don't even remember that second game, honestly. Look, the thing is that I'm picking the Titans for two things. One, you brought up Eli. I'm never going to trust Eli in a game ever. But two, the Titans realized they have this thing. It's called a running back. And, he was pretty good. He won a Heisman once. I don't know if anybody realizes that. But their quarterback.
But he maxed out already, Dylan. He's had his one good game of the year.
That is one good game? Well, he's got to have a better game than Marcus Mariota. Because even though they won by 21 points, he threw for.
Bro, I know you say the Giants are still in the playoffs, but the Titans have more to play for in this week.
Wait, I've just been joking about the Giants. It's not like I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, technically, every NFC is still in it. With the teams are adding L's as we speak.
There's like two teams that are physically out of the playoffs. I think it's the 49ers and the Cardinals. Everybody else still has the chance to make the playoffs because nobody wants to win the 6th seed. Everybody can line up for the 6th seed. Just be participants. The Titans have more to play for, like you said, and they're just. It's hard to say because the Titans have been very mediocre, but they're a better team. So, Titans will win, and I think Derrick Henry will not have 238 yards, but he will have over 100.
Ooh, okay. The Seattle Seahawks take on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers off a big win over the Broncos. I think this could be a sleepy one for the Seahawks. I could see a potential upset here, Dylan.
This is tough. No, it's not. I'm picking the Seahawks. I understand where you're coming from. I like it. I like the confidence level. George Kittle is a straight beastmon. He had the second most receiving yards by a tight end in a game in NFL in the Super Bowl era. Pretty good stuff, I would say. The first being Shannon Sharp for anybody that cares. But the Seahawks, I was working on my homework on Monday because I have a lot of stuff going on for finals week. But I had this game on in the background, and I was like, man, the Seahawks team's pretty good. Like their offense really did struggle in the first half, but their defense is the reason why. It's their backbone. It's their centerpiece. It's going to make them a contender. And I like the 49ers fight, but I don't see it this week, buddy. Don't see it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks too. I think this could be a sleepy one. Maybe they don't show up to the game physically or mentally, but the Seahawks are playing too well right now. I just think, it was a little concerning their passing offense last week. They need to be better in that area. And I think they should be in this game. I think that should be a big cause for concern if you're a Seahawks fan going to the playoffs, because you're going to need to pass the ball with more consistency in the playoffs. Defensively, though, they're playing really well. And I think that carries over to this game. I do think the 49ers will be able to run the ball a little bit, but I don't think that it will get them the win. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Let's say 27-13 Seahawks. Okay. What?
I said okay. Yeah. I'm just like agreeing.
Let's skip over the Patriots Steelers.
We'll go with that last.
Yeah, let's go with the Eagles and the Rams. Luka's upset of the week.
Can I ask why Sunday Night Football did not propose to get a different game on here?
Because the Eagles are Super Bowl champions and Rams are the Rams.
But it's this season. They picked the freaking Bengals in flex.
But this was the game of the year, according to Dilly Vanilli.
It was. A lot has changed in 17 weeks. I think we made
Dilly, that list is garbage, by the way.
Pretty bad. But that is why we do prediction stuff. Look, the Eagles have nobody on nobody in their secondary. Literally, Rasheed Douglas is their best player. Who? The Rams are gonna win, and here's why. The Rams did struggle against the Bears, but the Bears defense is like tops of the tops. And the Eagles' defense right now is the poops of the poops. They are not very good, folks. Carson Wentz, he's not even going to play this week.
Oh, this game is in L.A.
Yeah, it's in L.A. That's just a huge factor.
Oh, damn. I feel bad about telling that guy that Jared Goff to sit him then. Start Jared Goff.
I
thought it was in Philly. My bad.
I'd still personally go there. Let's see. Nick Foles is going to start this game. Nick Foles. This is not the Super Bowl. This is not the playoffs. There's no Jeff Hostetler vibes here. This is Nick Foles, regular season quarterback who has not started since week 2 or week 3, one of the two. The run game got a little bit better. The receivers tried last week. They did decently well. I would make a comment about what Dak said from Jason Garrett, where he said winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. But that was already explained last week. And the thing is that the Rams need a bounce back victory because they didn't play very well on Sunday Night Football last week. It's a national audience. A lot of people put them lower in the power rankings because of that game. They play well on national television tonight or on Sunday. They'll be back up there. So Rams, pretty simple.
Rams. The Rams, another lock of the week.
Ooh.
Rams will take the fun out of Philadelphia. Jared Goff is going to throw for 350 plus.
Woo! That's hot.
4 touchdowns.
Oh.
Brandon Cooks is going to have a huge game. And the Rams are going to destroy the Eagles.
Destroy.
I'm going to say 38, 16.
Ooh. From me watching the game, I just hope that doesn't happen because we have to watch that for 3 hours. But it could be very realistic. I'm interested.
We'll see.
We will see.
Saints at Panthers, Monday Night Football. Panthers on one of the greatest skids I've ever seen in my life.
This reminds me of the Falcons 5-0 stretch to start off the year 4 years ago and then going 8-8. This was very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints, man. The Panthers keep losing. Their defense is falling apart. Yep. Their offense can't put it in at the 1-yard line. And now they're playing the team that they can't beat when they're good. I'm going with the Saints.
They lost 3 times to them last year, and they were 11-5. They were actually pretty good. They're done. They're done for sure. And like I said, during this 5-game stretch, I was like, if the Panthers want a chance to make the playoffs, they need to win the games in the middle of this 5-game stretch because then they had to play the Saints 2 of the last 3 weeks. That's a scheduling nightmare for them, and they've shot themselves in the ass. Saints, even if they did struggle against the Bucs a little bit last week.
All right. Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, part 402. And in the first
series, 400-2.
The first 401 parts, the Steelers have won once. So that being said, I am going to this game.
Oh!
I'm excited. I think the Steelers need it. The Patriots need it. There's a lot on the line. I gotta stick with my Patriots. I'm not going to the game and picking the Steelers. Who do you think I am, Dylan? Bro.
Now, if I was going to go to the game, I'd switch the size, but yes.
Yes, I am going with the New England Patriots. Last week, I know the Patriots lost in a miracle fashion, but there were some things that I really liked from that loss. And even though they lost, I would have taken a 5-point win in Miami. A win in Miami is good. I know they lost on the last play, but they almost won, and they never win. So that being said, I would have been really happy if they would have won by 1 point in Miami.
7-10, bro.
I would have been happy if they won 3-0. But what I saw last week, Brady played his best game of the year. Zip on that football. Gronk played well. Gordon played well. Edelman played well. Their offense and their passing game specifically was really, really, really good. And I hope that carries over this week. Defensively, there has been a huge issue on the road. If you look at their numbers compared to the home numbers, where they're actually pretty good at home on defense, compared to the road, they've been really bad. So I'm concerned about that aspect of the game when it comes to the Steelers passing against the Patriots. I don't think James Conner is going to play. I'm not really concerned about their running attack for the Steelers because if Conner doesn't play, I don't think it's really a factor. I think the Patriots defense will play the Steelers the way they sort of played the Vikings in double teaming one of the receivers and letting Gilmore play the other. I think they're going to let the Steelers run the ball if they please.
Yes.
I think that the Patriots with Gronk and Edelman, this is going to be a Gronk and Edelman game. And if the Steelers play Edelman the way they played Keenan Allen, Edelman's going to have 10-plus catches. So I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-20 Patriots.
I will try my very best to get a stream. I have I have family things that I'm doing before, so I probably won't, but I'll try my best. I'm picking the Patriots for like 8 reasons. They're not really 8, but first off, who's that man on the calendar right there behind you?
The man on the calendar is Rob Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski absolutely destroys the Steelers every single year. He might not have a touchdown every game, but by God almighty, he'll rack up the catches and he'll rack up the yards. Last year, he was just destroying, man. He stiff-armed a man into the end zone and hit his nastiest Gronk spike of his career in Pittsburgh. Let's see. By the way, it was the best game that Brady and Gronk have had together. Brady's throw, I believe it was to Gronk. It was in the middle of the field. I don't know who it was to, but it was the best throw I've seen Brady throw all year.
It was Patterson.
Touchdown? Yes, that was the best throw that I've seen from Brady all year. It was looking like classic Brady. The defense, it's in Pittsburgh, correct? So
yeah.
The road issues, like you brought up, that's going to be something to look forward to.
It's going to be an interesting game to watch to see what both teams can bring in that department in the playoffs.
Yes. And the Steelers, they really need it. They need it because they've lost their last 3.
So the Patriots.
Okay, yeah, but they're going to make the playoffs regardless. They're going to win their division. The Steelers absolutely need this victory. Are you still there? Okay, there you go.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I guess we cut up for a second. The Steelers need this. Like, absolutely. This is no question about it. I know the Patriots still need it, but, like, they're going to miss the playoffs if they don't have one of these 2 victories against the Steelers or the Patriots or the Saints. I'm going to predict the final play. All right. I'm going to tell everybody what the final play is. I'm going to look like a genius. So the Steelers are going to drive down the field. You know, they're going to be really good. They're going to.
My heart's going to be beating a million miles a minute.
They're gonna go down the field. Juju's going to have another big time catch. You know, they're going to do everything. And it's going to be 4th and goal with like 18 seconds left. And the ball's going to be snapped. And Daron Harmon is going to catch a pick in the corner of the end zone, blocking Antonio Brown when you think Antonio Brown's going to have a wide open catch. That's what's going to happen. Why Daron Harmon? Because he always gets big plays in the 4th quarter, and he did it last year to win me $50 against Bodo. It's going to happen again, and if that happens, I just sign me up. Like, I'm the president. But I'm just saying, the Steelers do not have, like, the Patriots have the Steelers number. And until the Steelers win, I cannot confidently pick them. So, Patriots.
Fair enough. All right, guys. That's the Week 15 picks and predictions from Dilly Vanilli and myself, the Bottom Line View. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more. Let's get to the comments, and then we'll say goodbye.
By the way, I think I looked at our games. We have one game where we didn't agree on.
Which one was that?
Bills, Lions.
All of a sudden, that becomes the biggest game of the week.
That's the game we got to sit down and watch, bro. Like, well, you're going to be in Pittsburgh. But, like, that's the game I got to look at the screen for.
Let's go, Josh.
Let's go, Matty Stafford. That's the original boy in my heart. Alan's your new boy at your heart. That's where it's going to come down to. Get those comments in, everybody. I can only go to the last 11 minutes of chat, but if you want to put something in there right now before we go ahead. Ultra's going to have a 30-14 victory for the Seahawks. Sebastian's got a 28-14 win for the Rammies. Trevor says this is the kind of game the Eagles pull out of their ass, but the Rams should win. That's fair. Rob, 52-10 Rams. That is going to be a shellacking. Robot guy said it earlier with a 51-10 victory. Excuse me. Let's see. Scrolling down a little bit. They can't talk about the Vikings are going to lose in Detroit. Ryan Shaw says the Panthers are going to bounce back this week. I've been looking for that for over a month. And, they decided not to participate in No Win November. So congratulations on that. And they're still going into December. Their commitment is pretty good. Let's see here. Looking a little bit more here. Ultra says he's in Pittsburgh right now, Mitch. He's going to the game also.
What? I'm going to see Ultra at the game.
He says the Patriots are going to win 30.
Bro, if you see me, come up to me because I have no idea what you look like. So
that'll be an interesting experience. Never, the fans. Let's see here. Bold prediction. Oh, that's not it. You can't predict that. That's not cool. It says Gronk's going to get hurt this week. You can't predict.
I hope not.
You can't predict injuries. That's not fun.
Who predicts injuries? Only assholes do that.
I wouldn't even do that from other teams in my division. That's not cool. It's not cool. Fact or fiction, Colts Titans will be the winner-take-all game in Week 17. They face each other. Will that be the deciding 6th seed? Who wins?
If the Colts, I'm trying to figure this out in my head. If the Colts lose this week, then I think they're out. I think if the Steelers, even if they lose 2 games and win 1, they could still win the 6th seed.
Yeah.
I think if the Steelers win 2 and lose 1, they'll win the division. If they win 1 and lose 2, they might get the 6th seed unless the Colts beat Dallas this week. If the Colts beat Dallas, then they'll make it because I think they'll beat the Titans.
I think playoff teams like the 5th or the wildcard teams would rather want the Steelers to go 2-1 than 1-2. Because then they have to contend with the Ravens being the wild card, and I think they would have an easier spot in that.
I don't want the Titans to make it, so I'm biased. But I think that because I just don't want to see them in the playoffs. I want to see and I hate the Steelers. I don't want to see this. I want to see the Steelers in the playoffs because they're probably one of the 6 best teams. I wouldn't mind seeing the Ravens because I think they're one of the 6 best teams. And I would like to see the Colts. So, like, I want to see the Steelers because they're the Steelers. So I want to put them in there. And then it's between the Colts and the Ravens for me, personally. Who do I think is going to make it? I think the Ravens will make it as the AFC North champion. And then it will be between the Colts and the Steelers for the last seed. And basically, it's up to the Colts to make that happen.
Trevor says I'm going 16-0 in predictions this week, which means if you get 15-1, that's extra fucked. Like, that's just the consolation. Let's see. Durkan says he's going to the game too. I don't know.
No, he's not.
He says he's not meeting up with any of you because he lost. That's why. Ryan Shaw says Allen will run for 100 yards. Yeah, I would pretty much. There you go. Robot guy says my dead great grandma going too. Oh, everybody's going to the game. I'm going to the game. Mitch is going. I got my ticket booked, guys. I got it booked, guys. I was supposed to go to Canada 2 years ago. I'm making promise on that.
Eventually,
we're gonna have that studio, and then we're gonna
videos coming soon.
It's like EST 2015, but never actually started. So
2020. Coming.
Big brain. We'll get Jake Barton, who commented on the Chiefs Chargers video.
He always sends me Twitter messages now. Maybe he wants back in.
I just saw him like in the YouTube comment section. I was like, Jake Barton.
Legend.
Get this guy back in. All right, that's it for
studio
comments.
Coming 2020.
Yes, I will. I'll send the loan.
Merch coming summer 2019.
We actually need merch. Like we gotta get.
That's not even a joke.
10K is when we will start getting merch out. All right, that's my goal.
The first shirt is DUNE.
Yes, I got it ready to go. Everybody's gonna be done.
Second shirt is da-na-na-na.
And then we're gonna put Chargers on the back, and then in quotations, except for it against the Steelers, because then but that'll be some good merch, guys. Go ahead, you just wait for it. You just wait. Come. And that's
Ryan doesn't like Jonathan Jones.
Jonathan Jones,
the corner for the Patriots.
But why?
Honestly, I think that J.C. Jackson should get more playing time. Every time I see him, he plays well. But I do like Jonathan Jones.
I mean, this isn't Cyrus the Virus. It's not that bad.
Cyrus the Virus.
Okay, well, we have one fantasy question. What about tight end? I don't know. Wait.
Did you watch the game, bro?
Did you watch the game? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I haven't said that in a while. I need to bring it back into the repertoire.
AC hasn't been on the channel, so that's it. That's the reason why it hasn't.
Because honestly, some of the things he would say, I honestly didn't think he watched the game.
No, this is what happened. He would watch the game and then never come on the recaps. He'd watch them, but you have to grill him when he comes on. Okay, so we have CJ Uzma. I don't know how you pronounce that. You know what I'm talking about. Uzma.
Yeah.
Ian Thomas or Cameron Brate?
Brate plays Baltimore. Ian Thomas plays the Saints. And Uzoma plays the Raiders?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm still going with Brate.
I have Ian Thomas as my flex option in my fantasy league because he's
possibly Ian Thomas.
He did really good last week, and he's their number one tight end. So,
I'd switch my vote to Ian Thomas just because I think the Panthers will score the most points. And Devin Funchess has pretty much been taken out of the offense.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
He doesn't really even play. They don't play him anymore.
There goes Devin Funchess' breakout 2017.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's DONE. That's what it is.
Yep.
All right, that's it for comments.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button like I said earlier and subscribe to the channel for more NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Look out for the new videos coming out soon. Lots more coming. Deuces.
Peace.